Hey everybody, it's Michael Skelton here. Today I'm going to be showing you this set of poker chips called the Bank from Apache Poker Chips. Here's what they sent me when I ordered it. I'll put links in the description if you're interested in purchasing them, and I'll keep that updated. But I'm no poker chip expert. I'm definitely coming at this from a board game perspective. I've always wanted a good set of poker chips, and these came along, and I'm pretty impressed with them. So with that in mind, let's jump into it. These chips are China clays. Apache, they also make the Majestic and Milano lines of poker chips that are pretty popular. And these are a little bit bigger than the Majestics. I'm not sure millimeter-wise how big they are. I tried to check on the site and the order page, and they didn't say. But these chips were designed by Apache with people from BGG and the 18xx community to kind of satisfy board gamers' needs. So I'll point out some of the differences and key aspects of that as we go along. So the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is all these are denominated. They've got a clear number that you can easily read, and there's no question what value each chip is. And that was a big positive for me. And also that there's no dollar symbol, pound symbols, so these could be, money or resources or whatever you need them to be. The other thing you'll notice is that the Inlay Design here, the sticker, is just a design. It's not a casino name or anything like that. While I like some of the other chips out there that are popular, I never liked having a huge, name of whatever, Tiki Jacks or whatever on there. So that works for maybe casino or betting games, but sometimes you don't want that. So I like the multi-purpose and the inoffensiveness, and I kind of find it elegant, or elegant, I'd say, that design in the middle. And if you see across all the chips here, it's got a tint of the color that it actually is. So the red is tinted red, while the number is still white and bold and easily readable. So I do like that. Also, if you look at these chips at an angle, you can kind of see the track running around the edge. So there's a light train theme going on there. It's not, super prominent, but you can kind of feel it, and I think it looks nice. We were big fans of Ticket to Ride when we first got into the board gaming, so trains are always nice. And in some you can see it better than others. I think the black kind of showed up the best on camera. But they are around all of them. You can also get a whole roll of these train chips. I only got one for my initial order, but you can get a whole roll of them. So there is a train theme going on there, but it's not like super prominent, and you still get the poker chip colors, which I like. The other thing to say is you can get these chips unlabeled, at least right now you can, so you don't have to get the center on them. You can get them blank, and then you can put your own labels or just have them blank. But I like having them clearly show what their value is. So I like these chips so much, I ended up getting each of the denominations. So I thought it'd be useful to kind of go through, show you each denomination and what it looks like in a stack. Also, that's something to mention, is these are sold by the 25s. If you're not a huge poker chip person like I am, you might not know that. So they're sold in a roll of 25, but then all the racks you buy, this stack is a stack of 20. So it's a little odd, and then so a lot of times people's breakdowns will be in multiples of 10s or 20s because of the way they go in the chip rack, but then you have to buy them in multiples of 25. So that just seems to be the way it is. Poker chip community seems to have accepted that, but it is a little odd. So going through each of the colors quickly, we've got the white ones, red 5s, light blue 10s, the gray 20s, the pink 50s, and then the others here, we've got the green 25, black 100, purple 500, yellow 1000, and then dark blue 2000. There's also one other color available that I did not get. That's the train, the orange. You can get them as a train or you can get them as 25 cents. I did not get either, but I did get them blank, so I'll show you those later. Alright, so let's go through each of the numbers and I'll show you kind of what they look like in a stack, because that's what I like to see. And you know, some of the other poker chip videos I was watching didn't necessarily show that all the time, so I like to see them what they look like all stacked up. This is the 1. It's white. It's got red and blue edge spots. I don't know the technical color. I know they have names for those, but it's nice. It's definitely American. More so than I imagine, kind of looking at the chip, you know, head on in a picture online. But I do kind of like it, and you get used to it. But these are the ones we use all the time. I mean, we've already used these in tons of games, and they're nice. I think the white is bright, and then you can easily kind of count how many you have. Usually you'll just count by dropping them. But it's pretty easy. So we've used these a lot. I got a bunch of these, and I like the 1s for sure. Next up, we've got the 5s. These are red with black and blue edge spots. The blue's pretty dark, actually, but when they're stacked up, you can see the blue more. I like these. These are the next most used ones. They're definitely, in contrast to the white, they're good. Oh, look at that. I just knocked them over. Slip test right there. But that's okay. And together, they look pretty good. You know, it's like they're easy to tell apart. So usually you have, you know, a whole stack of the white, a few of the red. I think the contrast is nice there. So yeah, that's the 5s. Next up, we'll do the 10s. I originally did not get the 10s, and then we played a bunch of games and realized we could use the 10s for sure. The light blue is nice. It's got the dark blue and lighter yellow edge spots. The pattern's different, though, of these edge spots. I don't know what the name for these are. There's kind of one at each 45-degree angle, whereas both the 1s and the 5s had the 2 stripes. But 10s, this is probably one of my favorites, actually, this color. I really do like it. And in a lot of the board game, you know, Euro games, you do just go up to 10, kind of. And just to kind of show you maybe what it would look like, you know, as a stack all together. There you got the blue, the red, and the white all together. So there we go. Next up, we got the gray 20s. There's they got this sort of lime green black edge spot. The 20 is definitely one of the features of the bank chips, that it has a 20. I know for 18xx games you really want, or a lot of payments are in multiples of 20. That's not so important to me. Personally, I kind of wish it wasn't gray. I wish it was more of a, this isn't my favorite color necessarily, but these actually have grown on me more as I look at them. And I do kind of like the lime green in the stack mixed up like that. They're very inoffensive, though. You know, gray is fine. It's got the same edge spot pattern as the 10 did, where it's at every 45 degree. So that's nice pattern there. My concern was really if you had some of these, would you be able to tell the gray from the white, say, because 1s and 20s is pretty common. But I think it's fine. They're different enough. The edge spots are completely different, so I think it's pretty obvious and not an issue. So that's the 20s. So next up we've got the green 25. It's got a pink and dark green edge spots. This one really reminds me of a watermelon when I see it. I like these. Poker players want 25s. Board gamers generally prefer 20s, and 18xxers like have to have 20s. So this was one that I didn't initially order, but did on my second, and I'm really happy. I like the colors. This might be one of my favorite chips, and they look nice. The green, especially if you're going to skip the 20s and maybe do the 25s instead with some of these other colors. I think altogether they do look nice. I think a lot of people actually would not get the 10s, and so you'd have a stack that maybe look like this. But This stack is a good example of when they come out of the package, they are chalky. I think you can see that on there. We haven't played with these yet. We need to play with these a bit and see what they look like. But as you play with them, you know, just after one play of the chips, really handling them, the chalkiness comes off and they definitely look better. I actually have an example of that with these fives here that we have not played with, and the fives that we have played with. And we haven't played a ton, but it's been a month now or something like that. So you can clearly see there's a chalkiness there, and doesn't bother me one bit. I don't even really notice it on my hands or getting on the table or anything like that. I think you could wipe it off. I think some people oil their chips. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna dive that deep into it. But there's the difference there. All right, so next up we've got the 50. It's a pink, a dark kind of hot pink with the yellow, and I'm not sure if it's kind of a gray bluish edge spot there. These are nice. I like the look of these. These are very pretty. They remind me of bubble gum or something like that. I know 50 isn't the most popular denomination, so a lot of people would skip these. But I do think they're a nice color, and they really stand out. So after the 50, we've got, I guess these might be a bit slippery. Alright, so here's the hundreds. They are black. They've got this orange, and I don't know if that's a light brown or a tan yellow, brown yellow color. They definitely have this Halloween vibe to me when they're stacked up like that. I really like those. So yeah, that is the 100, and I guess they might be slipperier. I know some people say certain denominations can be slipperier. How does that compare to the 10? Yeah, these are definitely more grip. Curious if all the hundreds are like that or not. But hey, there you go. So next up we've got the purple 500 with, I guess that's a pink and a light blue edge spot there. I like these too. These are nice. These are definitely dark purple. I guess I didn't point out the edge spots in the last few. So we had the 10 and the 20 that were the 45s. Looks like the 25 was the same way. It's also on the 45. And then the 100, I don't know what they call this. It's got the triangle and the stripe. Kind of reminds me of a tiger, but that's probably just because of the color. So then the 500, we've got kind of the same 45, but with two colors on each there. The 500's nice. So let's look at the next step up, which is the 1000 here. It's got that same pattern. So two colors of the 45. This one's yellow. It's definitely a bright yellow. So it's almost, I think that actually shows up better on camera than real life. But it's pretty light, and then the white is pretty light. This definitely reminds me of bumblebees. Just looking at it from the stack, I quite like these 1000 chips. I think it's a perfectly appropriate sort of top denomination color. Very special to have one of these, you know, in most games. And let's take a look at kind of a poker breakdown where you'd have the 1000, 500, 100, 25s. Probably all out of whack on the proportions there, but that's kind of what they all look like together. I think it looks quite nice. Yeah, pretty good there. I guess the one concern I personally had was the 500s and say the 50s. Yeah, those in a stack. Not the easiest to tell apart, but you know, they're not. Let's do a mixed, what do they call this? A dirty stack, I think. Yeah, I mean, I can still tell if I look which one's which. I don't know. You'd have to be a savage to put your chips like that on the table. I mean, most people just group them by color. And what's in between those denominations? A 100 there, at least. Yeah, so you could have it like that, which looks perfectly fine. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. Alright, so then we're on to the last one, which is also one of those that I originally didn't order any of. That's the 2000. But I figured if I'm ordered everything else, I might as well get one roll of these. I think they're pretty nice. This has the 45 degree, but in a triangle rather than the square. I don't know if these seem as super nice as the top color. I don't know. From the side, it's kind of a neon. But I like it. These might grow on me more. I don't think we'll be using these super often. Maybe it's just the chalkiness. But yeah, I kind of wish these might have been a different color. But I still got them. I still like them. Also, the 2000 chip, that's something that was unique to this bank set. So if you're an 18XXer, apparently these are important. So that might be a draw to some people. I was tempted to get these unlabeled just so I could make them 5,000 or something like that, or 10,000. The ones I chose as unlabeled, this is the last to show you, are these orange ones, which, as I said in the very beginning, were 25-cent chips. That's what they were labeled as. I didn't see any need for 25-cent chips, and if I wanted 25-cent chips, I could just make these 25. But I think it might be nice to have some unlabeled to use. I was mostly thinking as threes for games. Some of our games use threes. So I don't know, or just a denominationless marker for whatever we choose. Maybe I should have got the train. I kind of just wanted to see what one set of these looked like. These definitely remind me of a tiger from the side. One thing I did notice as I was storing these, I had just thrown these side, had a mixed rack with these together. This is the 100, which is black, and the blank 25-cent chip, fracks I think they call them in the poker world. But these are hard to tell apart, so I think if you wouldn't want these in the same game. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if you'd ever have those together, but there's just not enough. I was trying to think, they're just using too similar of colors. But I think the idea is if you're using 25-cent chips, you're not going to be using the 100 chips. Other than that, I think all the colors mesh really well together, and I like this set as a whole. So let me get everything kind of back together and we'll do some final thoughts. Well, actually, it might be nice while I have everything out to kind of line these up. There's down to 50, but most people actually probably wouldn't want the 50. This would be the green. So that's kind of like your poker chip set there. You got the green, the black, the 25, 100, 500, 1000. Let's move those back and throw in the others. The 50. Alright, there's some more. Oh my god, they're going crazy. That's okay. Yeah, that's what they all kind of look like together. I think it looks good. Let's see if I can get this green one in the shot. Oh, and I forgot these train ones. Let's put those there. There we go. That's a nice shot of all of them together, right? So I guess I didn't show like any, so there's the sound of them there. I didn't show any kind of slip test. I guess that happened in the middle of it, but, these are kind of slick, I'd say. Slicker than some other tests I know people have done. It's kind of like a knock the center type thing, which, there we go. You can't knock these out, but it does take quite a bit of force. And in stacks, I think they've got just the right amount of grip, at least for now. We'll see. Those 100s definitely slipperier. It's interesting. I'm seeing if these seem the most grip is the 2000s. I'm trying to think of other tests people do, seeing if these stand on edge. So I think this is a good spot to wrap it up. Overall, very happy with these. Very happy. My whole family, we've been playing with them for about a month now. And it's everything I wanted in a board game poker chip. You know, clearly shows how much each chip is worth, but doesn't have a dollar symbol, doesn't have a casino name. All the colors are really nice. I'd say some of the colors I wish were others, but overall I think they really mesh well, and I can see why those choices were made. The colors really pop. I know it's hard to see like on a computer screen and when you're looking at these what they're going to be like, but you know, in person they really do stand out and they look really good together. I like the way they stack up and go together and just make it really easy to know, you know, how much money or victory points you have or other people have across the table without having to ask. And it's fun. Everyone just loves kind of messing with the chips when it's their turn and things like that. So let's wrap it up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Normally, it's all about board games here, and I can't wait to use these chips with all my board games in the future. Alright guys, Michael Skeleton, out. Had to do it. Hadn't done that yet. It's really satisfying.